Bridge course, subject English, class 8, day 9 and 10, page number 44 to 49.
Hello students, how are you all? I'm fine. Hope you are also fine. I'm very happy to see you through this Kalvi Tolekachi channel. Are you all following the lessons? Very good. Bridge course lessons are going on and today's lesson is day 9 sentence pattern. You can turn to page number 44, day 9 sentence pattern. So today's lesson is on sentence pattern. Usually a sentence has many parts and you have already learnt about the two parts of a sentence. Usually we say subject and predicate. The first part of the sentence will be the subject and the rest of the part of the subject will be a predicate. But here now today we are going to learn each and every word of the sentence, they denote something. One will be the subject, then next will be object, then a verb, direct object, indirect object, adjunct, complement. Likewise, each word of the sentence will denote one name. So that's only we are going to study here today in this sentence pattern form. So there are 7 patterns are there. So each pattern we can learn. First of all, we learn about the names of the sentence, the words properly. So first is subject, that we denote as yes. The next is verb, we denote as we. Then object, there are 2 objects. One is direct object and indirect object. So direct object we say as do and indirect object we say as io. So object is denoted as io and do. Then complement we say c. Then adjunct, that is denoted as a. So all these are there in a sentence. The first pattern in sentence pattern is subject plus verb, yes plus we form. Here first we have to learn about a subject. So when a subject is here in the beginning of a sentence, here in this first sentence, birds is the subject. And in the second sentence, the old man is the subject. So in a sentence, usually the subject will get the first place. And the first sentence here, birds fly. So subject plus verb. We have here subject and verb. Likewise, in the second sentence also we have subject old man, is walking is verb. Okay, now here we have to find out which is the subject. If you have any doubt, you can make a question using who and which. Who is walking? So an old man is walking. So this is the subject. So likewise, using which, if you frame a question, which is flying? The birds are flying or birds fly. So when you ask question using who or which, if you get an answer, that answer will be the subject. By this we can identify which is the subject of the sentence. And here we are watching at the first pattern of the sentence pattern, yes plus we pattern. Okay, now shall we pass on to the next pattern? The second pattern in sentence pattern formation is yes plus v plus o. So subject plus verb plus object. Here we can see 2 examples. Raju caught a fish. So already we have learnt how to find out a subject. So here Raju is the subject, caught is verb, a fish, this is object. So how can you find out an object? Will it come in the end alone, or how can we identify whether it is the object or a subject? This is also a noun, this is also a noun. How can you find out an object? So for that you ask question with whom or what. So here Raju caught a fish. What did Raju catch? What did Raju catch? Raju caught a fish. So now that answer is object for us. Likewise, the second example, the dog bit the boy. So whom did the dog bite? Whom did the dog bite? The dog bit the boy. So the answer we get is the object. So by this we can identify which is the object of the sentence. So the two examples gives a clear picture about which is the object of the sentence, and also the whole sentence is an example for S plus V plus O pattern. So do you understand the formation? So two patterns we have completed. Shall we pass on to the next one? Now we shall go on to the next one. Here we are going to learn about the indirect object and direct object in the same sentence. Already we learnt about object, that is when a sentence is having only one object, we learnt like that SVO pattern. Here in this sentence we have got two objects, so we say one is indirect object and another one is direct object. So direct object is very essential for a sentence. Without that the meaning won't be completed. Without that direct object, we won't be able to understand the sentence. But an indirect object only gives an additional information about the object. So the sentence can be there without an indirect object. So here we have two examples. The first one is, my father gave me a pen. My father, as we know earlier we studied, this is subject, this is verb, and these two are objects. Me is also object, a pen is also an object. Now we shall read one object. My father gave me. If you stop with that, the sentence is not complete. So we need something else. What your father gave? So my father gave me a pen. Here we shall leave this part. My father gave a pen. Now the sentence is complete. My father gave a pen. Okay, so the sentence is complete without this part. So now this part is indirect object and this part is direct object. So likewise in the next sentence, she sent him a message. Here she is the subject, sent is the verb. Here two objects we have got. So let us read the first object. She sent him. Is the meaning completed? No, the meaning is not completed. She sent him what? She sent him a message. Now we shall leave this part and we'll read the sentence. She sent a message. Now the sentence is completed. So we can understand the full sentence without this part. So now this part is indirect object and this part is direct object. And now another method is here to how to identify the direct object and indirect object. So here, to whom or to which. We can use these words to frame questions for these sentences. So, to whom did she send a message? To whom did she send a message? So, she sent a message to him. So, this is indirect object. So, if you ask a question, what? What did the father give me? What did the father give me or give you? The answer is a pen. So when you get an answer for what question, it is direct object. So using this also you can identify, or just by reading and understanding, by hiding one object at a time, and you can find out which is direct object and indirect object. So now we have completed this pattern. This is subject, verb, indirect object, direct object. Okay, now we shall see the next sentence pattern. The next pattern here we are going to see is SVOA pattern. So subject, verb, object and adjunct. So here this adjunct is new in this pattern. What function it has in the sentence? So an adjunct will show you what time it happened, where it happened, when it happened. All these information adjunct gives us. So here we can see three sentences. So Paul met Peter in the market. Paul met Peter. The sentence is complete. But where they met, the information is given in the market. So they met in the market. So where? Here the question word is here. When you use where, we get the answer in the market. So that is A, adjunct here in the sentence. So likewise, next example is last week it rained heavily. Last week it rained heavily. The sentence will be completed with rained. Last week it rained. It gives a complete sentence, but additionally heavily is added. to give some more information for the rain, how it rained. Is it rained heavily? Yes, here the word how is here. So using this word how, if you frame a question, you will get the answer heavily. That gives you the adjunct. So here last week is also an adjunct. When it rained. So two adjuncts in a sentence here. Okay, we shall pass on to the next sentence. Here, my mother cooked me biryani last week. So here, mother cooked me biryani last week. So here the time is given. So when did your mother cook biryani for you? It's last week. The answer will be last week. So the time when you ask using when, the answer will be last week. So that is A, adjunct here for our sentence. So the three sentences, they answer some questions with where, how and when. These informations are given additionally for a sentence so that we can understand the sentence more clearly. So the pattern subject plus verb plus object plus adjunct is completed. Now we shall see the next pattern. In the next pattern, we are about to study a complement. Some word or a few words will be followed this verb to complete the sentence. Already we have learnt about a transitive and intransitive verb. So when a verb takes its function towards the object that follows it is transitive verb. And when a verb will not take its action towards the object or the verb itself functions and gives the full meaning, then that is called as intransitive verb. Here also in this pattern we have that type. Intransitive verbs comes here. So here SV plus C pattern. The C is complement. This complement usually completes the meaning of the sentence. So here I am a teacher. So here I is the subject, am is the verb and teacher is complement. He became a doctor. He is the subject, became is verb. Here became is intransitive verb. A doctor is the complement here. So in three ways we get this complement in a sentence, usually with be form verbs. So here the first one we have got as am. So am is a be form verb. Can anyone of you recollect the be form verbs? Yes, am, is, was, are, were. All these are called as be form verbs. So when we get these be form verbs, you should check very carefully what follows after is a complement or a object. So here am is a be form verb and teacher, doctor, these words show some profession. So teaching is a profession, doctor is a profession. So usually this profession will come in complement section. So all these points you should keep in mind when you are segregating the sentence pattern. Here this is the last pattern we are learning today. So this is subject plus verb plus complement. Complement is the meaning, you just take it as complete. So with that the sentence pattern gets over. So already we have learnt a few sentence patterns. So first one is S plus V pattern, then S plus V plus O pattern, then S plus V plus A pattern, S plus V plus O plus A pattern, then S plus V plus IO plus DO pattern. The last one is S plus V plus C pattern. So all these you keep it in mind. First of all, you just learn the initials, subject S, object O. All these you keep in mind so that the sentence pattern is very easy for you to identify and follow it. In this book, in the module given, you have got a few exercises. Try to do it and find out the words and find out which pattern it belongs to. Each word will come under one name. So find out that and try to do the exercises. All the best, children. Thank you. Dear children, we have come to day 10. So day 10, common usage. So here in this day's lesson, We are going to learn very interesting, very fun-filled things in this. So we can enjoy it. You can enjoy the language here. So you have known that jumbled words, jumbled sentences, everything you will be very interestingly doing in some puzzles. So likewise here I have given some jumbled letters just as a warm-up exercise. Try to do it. So I will give you some clue. All these words are related to the present situation, the corona situation. So related to that, what all words we usually use now? Stay home, stay safe, then corona, COVID, positive. All these words used frequently. Sanitizer, face mask, all these words we use. So related to corona, we have 4 words here. The letters are jumbled. So the letters are jumbled here. If you arrange the letters, you can form a word that is related to this coronavirus. So the first word, shall we try? So first word is here URISV. Now we shall make it an arrangement. So now VIRUS, virus. Okay, the first word. Second word, just make a try. You have ISOPVIET. What can be? Yes, positive. POSITIVE, positive. Next, ATYS, very easy word. Yes, you would have found out the word stay. STAY. Next one related to stay, where you have to stay safe. Home, HOME. Okay, very interesting, isn't it? Just fun games are this, very interesting. You can just try it out from many puzzle books, and you can give just you make jumbled letters and give it to your friends. Let them try to arrange it and find out the word. Now the first one here we are going to see is anagram. Anagram, ANAGRAM. This is a fun-filled exercise. Let's go on to see how it is done. The first word here, worth. Worth means value, something valuable. So how here the letters used are WORTH. So using the letters given in the first word, you should use the same letters to make another word. So here see the same letters we have used, THROW. The same letters we have used. Here also we get a meaningful word. This side also we get a meaningful word. First time we saw jumbled letters. There the jumbled letters did not have any meaning. They didn't make a word. But here this side also we get a word. And when we shuffle the word and form another word, that word will be also meaningful. So just like that, we have to try to find out for many other words. So many interesting words are there in English language. So the next word is fried, F-R-I-E-D. We are making it as F-I-R-E-D, fired. So fried means you will make fry, and fired means it is burnt. So fried, fired. Elbow, below. So here the same letters we are using here also. This is elbow. Elbow means this part of the hand is called as elbow. And below. Below means below the something, below the table. Like that we use the word below. So next is cat. Very easy word. Only 3 letters. We rearrange the 3 letters to form another word, ACT, act. So cat becomes act here. So both the words give meaning. So do more exercises and enjoy. The next one is acronym. This one you would have known about this acronym. So what is an acronym is when we usually say some word using the first letters, we called it as acronym. And abbreviation is also something related to this. When you say about your class, you belong to 8th standard. For standard, you usually use STD. for your headmaster you use HM. So that is called as abbreviations. But here acronyms are a little bit different. We shall learn about that. Before that, now we are undergoing a pandemic time, isn't it? So now who declared corona as pandemic? Who declared, who told you that coronavirus is a pandemic? So the answer will be the same, who. Here we use WHO. This is also a fun. The question is who declared corona as a pandemic? The answer is also who declared corona as a pandemic. What is this who? World Health Organization. World Health Organization. So for the word world we use W, and for the word health we use H, and for the word organization we use the first letter O. So WHO, that is World Health Organization. So the first letters of every word is taken and put together, and we spell this word as who. Just like that, next word you can see ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. So Indian, we are taking from Indian I. Space, yes, we have taken. So research, R is taken. O, organization, O we have taken, and we have put together as ISRO, and we pronounce it as ISRO. So when the initials are put together to form a word by itself, then it is called as acronym. Okay children, you would have heard about synonyms, antonyms. All this usually you will learn for every lesson. But here now we are going to see homonym. So something related to synonym, antonym, homonym. So all these are in a way related. So how it is related? What is this homonym? We are going to learn. Homo means single, one. Okay, so here ring, few words are given. The first word is ring. Here one more ring is there. So two words, same spelling, same pronunciation. We spell it in the same way, same spelling. The word is the same, but meaning will be different. So here for the word ring, when you hear the word ring, you will remember the bell ringing in your school. So the school, the bell rings, we say. So the ringing of the bell is one meaning. And another meaning is what we wear in our fingers. The ring we wear in your fingers. So that is also called as ring. So one word having two meanings or three meanings according to the situation and sentences, the meaning will vary. So now you would have understood the meaning of the topic. Homo means one. So one word having two meanings or three meanings, that is called as homonyms. So next word is bat. Very easy word, very familiar word. Just try to find out two meanings for bat. One is cricket bat. Yes, you use a bat for playing cricket or hockey. For many games we use bats. So that is bat. And another bat is a mammal, you know, vavval. That is also called as bat. So two meanings for one word. The next word is bank. You know, where you used to go and deposit your money, and sometimes if you are in need of money, you will go and withdraw your money. That is a bank, that we know. Another one, can you imagine any other bank? Yes, the sides of a river. There are flowing rivers, sides are called as bank. Bank of the river. The next word is bark. What is bark? You immediately remember a dog. Dogs barking, isn't it? So dogs usually bark when a thief or someone strange person, if they come across, dogs will bark. Another bark, can you imagine? The trees sides, big trees, the sides of the trunk will be, there will be some rough part. That is also called as bark. Pattai, mara pattai is also called as bark. I have given only few words. There are so many words like this. Just try to find out. It is a very funny way to enjoy the language. The next interesting part here is homophones. So what is homophones? We already learned homonyms. I said homo means one. So homophones. Phone means, through a phone you will hear the sound. So phone means sound. Homo means one. So one sound, or you can say same sound. So here two words having same sound, one sound. The sound is the same, but words are different and their meanings are also different. So for example, the first one we can see cell, cell. Both are cell when the sound is the same, but the words are different. Spellings are different. First one is C-E-L-L. The cell has so many meanings. So cell phones, even in a jail, one room in a jail is called as a cell. But this cell, S-E-L-L, means selling something. Virpadu, virpanai sevadu. So selling vegetables, selling something in the shop. So this is cell. So these two have the same pronunciation, same way we are pronouncing it, but their spelling and meanings are different. So likewise, next one, no. First word is K-N-O-W and the second word is N-O. These words are very familiar to you. K-N-O-W, this has to be pronounced as no. You should not pronounce K. K is silent here. So the first word no is, I know the answer. I know everything. Like that we are using no. Enakku theriyum. This no is no. I don't want this. Enakku vendam. So a negative reply when you give, we use this no. This is homophones. The next one, very interesting, and we'll be amazed by this formation. This is called as palindrome. Palindrome. Here when you see the words, when you read from left to right or even from right to left, the words will be the same. So here for example, the first word is wow. So W-O-W. So now read from back, W-O-W, the same. So if you get any word like this, that word is called as palindrome. Here are few more examples. Noon, noon time. The afternoon time we say as noon. So from this side also it is noon, and from back to front also it is noon. Then amma, we have so many relations. Amma, akka. Words also read from forward to backward and backward to forward, the word will be the same. Next one is madam, M-A-D-A-M, M-A-D-A-M. Both sides if you read, it will be the same. Okay, very interesting. Next two words, but even that will be the same. Race car. Read from back, R-A-C-E-C-A-R. So race car, from here also it is race car. Very interesting things we find in our language. So many examples are given in your module, and even you can get more examples in Google. You search it and have fun always. Learn language and you improve your vocabulary. Thank you children. Have a nice time.